I'd like to thank my camera for this being the third time I've had to record this. Hello everyone, I'm Queen of the Randoms, and today we are reviewing, for the third time today, thanks to my camera, Hera's Heroes. Please let this just succeed. And yes, this is late because I was watching my Blu-ray box set collection of Star Wars The Clone Wars, and I definitely just missed the Zillow Beast episode. Thank you, camera. This episode showed a very different side of Hera that we haven't seen before. We learned more about her past, her personal connection to Ryloth, the Cinderella clan, and her mother. It was interesting to see a passion that Hera had for something that wasn't the rebellion, and we almost bring her back to something of her childhood, and it's almost like we're backtracking to see what made Hera the way she is. And I know that it was, I have heard Vanessa Marshall say that it was one of her wishes for Hera to return to Ryloth, and I'm also very glad that we're on Ryloth, because I'm actually very interested in the Ryloth and Twi'lek and all the crap that they've gone through as a species. Anyway, Hera's basically seen some shit, unless you haven't figured it out. The destruction of her homeworld, the enslavement of her people, the death of her mother. And that's what our episode was more looking at, the relationship with her mother. Just like Homecoming was more about the relationship with her father, but the father was more about the ties to rebellion. Her mother's side is a bit more ties to her culture. I think Thrawn summed it up perfectly when he said that she was someone who has been forged by war. And that is kind of true. That's all she's kind of ever known. And she is perfectly equipped to be, a leader. I think it's interesting when you look at Hera, because she does seem to have this complex where she is so ready to put her feelings aside for the better good, even if it's like something about someone that and something she loves. When Kanan was taken captured by the Inquisitors, she said, no, we can't do this. This is not safe for anyone. Rebellion comes first. I know I love him and everything, but this needs to happen. I'm going to suffer for my cause. And that also happened when they were going off onto Malachor. You need to go. You need to do your thing. I'm ready to prepare my lives for you guys not being here. It's hurting me. It's killing me. But I'm going to do it. And this time again, we see that it's almost another how low and how deep and how deep she can get into that self-sacrificing complex she has. Very noble, but it's a little worrying when you think about it. And Thrawn was definitely testing that. What would she do in this situation? And I think he's worked out that Hera doesn't only have the strength to carry on and inspire hope in others despite all the crap she's been through, she has the strength to blow up her ancestral home. Hera's a badass, and she needs more love. Even the way she kind of said, I would have destroyed the Kalikori if I known you would have done this to it. The way she spat it out like fire, it really did tug at my heartstrings. This whole episode did, because I really love Hera and I really love her character. And also about the Kalikori, the way she looked at it with such a tenderness. You knew that this was such a big thing to her and her family, and what's left she is willing to, what is she left? What is it that Hera will fight for that's not the rebellion? Well, yeah, she'll fight for the rebellion and everything, but what is kind of part of her cultural identity that she's going to fight for? And the way she looked at the Kalikori with such tenderness, and the way she spoke of her late mother, you have to think how heartbreaking it must have been for little Hera when her mother died. I'm sorry, even when I was writing this out, and the both 2 times I filmed this, I have got a little teary-eyed. And I did say that it was most likely that Hera was going to be the main adversary for Thrawn, because she's the leader, and they both had the qualities, they both had the similar thing of being leaders. Like the Inquisitors and Kanan and Ezra were both Force guys, so they're gonna go after each other. Hera and Thrawn are gonna go after each other. I predicted that. You can leave your thoughts on that. That scene when he basically debunked her whole life. Chills. the way he has such a weird respect for his enemies. It's a little chilling because he's like, you have something that I'm generally really envious of. Your ability to be basically forged by war, and I'm trying to perfect it. You're cool. And it's so different from any other Imperial dudes we've seen so far who are like, kind of never really put themselves on the level that they are. He can put himself on the level of what Hera must be feeling. And that show's just great. So much different from anything we've seen in the Star Wars. And he also shows the Star Wars universe and also kind of the cinematic universe. You know, Thrawn is such an underrated villain, and I don't even know him that much. I'd imagine you would probably, people who have read the books, would be kind of starting to see some patterns in what he's been doing from, like, the books. I'm starting to see some, I haven't really read the books, but I do know that he loves his espionage. He loves his recon. Hera Syndulla. And he growls and hisses. What? I don't appreciate art. Another thing I love was the mother and son bond thing, adventure trip going on between Hera and Ezra. And they made her drag his unconscious body to the cell. That's kind of sick. Also, droid PTSD. So again, brilliant episode, but I felt like we could have found out a bit more about the Syndulla clan or Ryloth since the book Lords of the Sith. Did you know that over 5,000 Syndullas have been taken as slaves? To know a little bit about Hera's mother, because, you know, I would have liked to know how she was killed, because I think it could add a bit more to the narrative of Hera's formation. Hera said that her mother's memory lives on through her new family and her love for them. That's so beautiful! Anyway, I'm queen of the randoms. I'm very distressed by this episode and glad I can actually start to talk a bit more about Star Wars Rebels now that we've got some more character pieces lately. Social media down there. Leave your thoughts, comments, share this video with your friends, and I will see you next time. I hope I won't have to record this video for the 4th time.